Ahmed was just sitting back, watching TV in his house, when he heard a few sharp knocks coming from somewhere inside the house. At first he ignored it, but when it happened again, he grabbed his phone and started recording.
Vea, mi gente, yo realmente no creía mucho en estas cosas. Yo vivo totalmente solo. ¿Escucharon la puerta? ¿Escucharon? No seas picha. Yo vivo solo, aquí no hay nadie. Se los juro, yo vivo totalmente solo. No puede ser, o sea, no puede ser. Estoy cagado. No puede ser. Estoy cagado. No puede ser. Dios. ¿Qué mierdas? No seas tan mamón. No puede ser. No puede ser. No puede ser. Dios. No. Vean, les juro que acabo de escuchar no sé si vieron la maldita silla moviéndose. No puede maldita ser posible. Vea, yo estoy solo, yo vivo con nadie, no hay hilos. No puede ser. Ay, Dios. No hay nadie, no hay ni mierda, no hay nadie. No hay ni una mierda, no hay nadie. Ay, no. Mierda. ¿Qué hago? Mierda. No puede ser. ¡Ay, puta! ¡Mierda! No.
As the camera rolls, a few more knocks echo through the room, clear and deliberate. Ahmed slowly stands up and approaches the door, hesitating before pulling it open, only to find nothing there at all. No one in the hallway, no movement, just silence. Trying to shake it off, he walks down the corridor to check the other rooms. That's when something even stranger happens. A piece of furniture in the next room, what looks like a sofa at first glance, suddenly slides a short distance across the floor on its own. Startled, Ahmed backs away and retreats to his bedroom, shutting the door behind him as fast as he can. Almost immediately, the knocking starts again, this time sounding closer, like something is trying to get back in. After a few moments, he works up the courage to leave the room and return to the same spot. This time, he realizes it wasn't even a sofa that moved. It was a stool, now sitting out of place in the middle of the room. He pushes it back to where it was, clearly shaken, and once again retreats to his bedroom, locking himself inside. The noises don't stop, and by the end of the recording, Ahmed admits this wasn't the first time something like this had happened. After everything he's experienced in that house, he's now seriously considering selling the property and leaving it behind for good. In this next clip, popular YouTuber Narrated is casually vlogging, talking to his audience about something strange that happened to him earlier that day. At first, it feels like a normal story time. He explains that he heard unexplained noises in his house and felt like someone else was there with him, but he brushes it off, half joking as he talks it through.
I want you to tweet me and put in some comments, any story that you guys have, or any moments of I don't know if I can explain that, or what is going on, if you believe in ghosts, if you don't believe in ghosts. I want to hear from you guys, man, because maybe here's something I should be doing in here to stop it. I have no idea, but yeah, I just want to share it with you guys. Really.
As he starts wrapping up the video, talking to the camera, something unsettling happens in the background. For just a split second, a white, mist-like apparition appears behind him, clearly humanoid in shape before fading out almost instantly. Narrated doesn't react at all and continues talking, completely unaware of what the camera just captured. It's only after viewers rewatched the footage frame by frame that the figure was noticed, sparking a wave of comments pointing it out. Whether it was a coincidence or something genuinely unexplained, the fact that it appeared right as he finished recounting the experience makes the moment feel disturbingly well-timed. After that moment went viral, Narrated decided to take things a step further. Instead of just vlogging, he set up a camera system inside his house, aiming it towards several different areas where he thought the noises might have been coming from. He left it running while he went about his day, hoping to catch something he couldn't explain. The footage cycles between different rooms in the house, switching every few seconds, all of them completely empty and still. Nothing seems out of place at first, until the feed returns to the kitchen. Without warning, the camera suddenly jolts and tips forward, crashing onto the floor as if it had been pushed. There's no one in the room, no pets nearby, and nothing visible that could have knocked it over. The recording cuts shortly after, leaving viewers with yet another unexplained moment inside the same house. Paired with the earlier apparition caught behind him on camera, it's no surprise fans started questioning whether whatever he joked about at the start was actually very real. Sarah is in her house late at night, filming again in hopes of finally catching whatever has been haunting the place for so long. She's talking calmly to the camera, explaining that the activity has been happening for weeks, when something interrupts her mid-sentence.
Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque la gente no dura rentando. Rompe el contrato por una u otra cosa y tuvimos que venirla a limpiar el día de hoy porque ya mañana se van a mover. Se las quiero enseñar. Lo raro es que dice el realtor que no dura la gente. Esta casa se ha limpiado muchísimas veces porque rompe el contrato a la gente. No mames. Ya es noche. Estoy sola. Chingados, estoy. No hay nada. Esta pinche casa la han rentado un chingo de veces. Y no sé por qué rompe el contrato la gente. Ay, no, déjenme regresar, sí, porque me dio cosas esa pinche puerta. Y dicen los señores que rentan aquí que miran demasiadas cosas. La gente no dura viviendo aquí, rompe el contrato, así que vamos a grabar un poquito para allá. Ese pinche cuarto ahí, no sé qué fregados es. Ya las muchachas me están esperando allá afuera. Miren, allá me da cosa. Tengo que prender la luz. Ahorita voy a ir a prender la luz. para seguir grabando. ¿Te imaginas? Para que la gente rompa el contrato acá, es porque de plano no aguantan a vivir aquí. Y ahorita les voy a enseñar lo demás para allá. Déjenme prender la luz. ¿Dónde está la luz acá? Chingada madre. Ahí está. Ok, ahorita les voy a enseñar. Esta es una recámara. Se está poniendo ahorita tenso. Entonces, el Señor dice que ya van varias familias que rompen el contrato. No sé qué es lo que pasó aquí. Nunca me ha dicho el realtor qué es lo que... Nunca me ha dicho el realtor qué es lo que realmente ha pasado.
Behind her,
Pero sí la hemos limpiado varias veces porque no dura la gente. Y eso sí, la verdad es algo extraño, que no dure nadie. Yo no sé si tú has vivido en una casa así, donde te hayas tenido que haber salido por algo o roto el contrato. Ahorita les voy a enseñar. ¡Ey! ¿Andan acá? No mames. Espérenme. Iba a dejar grabando, pero la neta ya me está dando cosa. Se escucha el ruido para acá. No sé qué sea. Creo que me voy a tener que ir.
the bathroom door slowly opens on its own. She notices it a moment later and walks over, pushing it fully open and showing the camera inside to prove there's nothing there. Confident it was just another strange coincidence, she continues walking through the house, still talking as she goes. A few rooms later, she reaches a darker area where the pull string on a ceiling light is gently swaying back and forth. Even though the air is completely still, she pauses, then pauses to turn the light on, brushing it off and continuing on. Eventually, she comes across another dark room, unaware of what is about to happen. In the doorway ahead of her, a completely blacked out figure slowly peeks out, its shape barely visible against the darkness before pulling back out of sight. Sarah never reacts and keeps talking as if nothing happened, but viewers immediately noticed it when she uploaded the footage. Whatever has been moving doors and lights in her house may have finally revealed itself, even if she didn't see it in the moment. The clip starts quietly, with the dog sitting stiffly at the window, completely fixated on the blinds like it's watching something only it can see. The woman filming notices how tense the dog is, and slowly zooms in toward the small gap between the blinds, almost as if she already knows there's something there.
Yep, I knew she's going. They're out there. As usual. Okay, they're out there again. Dang. What'd it do? It backed off real fast when Champ come up. Dang, trying to hide from Champ? Whatever the heck that is out there. Now it's back. See, its eye blinking right in the window. Come here, kitty. I got to show Andy this video. He ain't gonna believe this. There's no way he cannot not see this. Kitty, if you don't get... That's it, I've had enough of...
Through the narrow opening, two faint glowing specks can be seen hovering outside in the darkness, positioned far too evenly apart to be a reflection or an animal she recognizes. She whispers to her dog, calling its name again and again, trying to get it to come back to her, but the dog doesn't respond at all. It doesn't flinch, doesn't turn around, just stares, frozen and mesmerized. Minutes pass, with her growing more panicked, raising her voice and begging the dog to move while the glowing shapes remain perfectly still, blinking just once. She later claims this wasn't the first time she'd seen something like this near her home, believing it could be what people refer to as the dogman. The video cuts abruptly with no resolution, leaving viewers unsettled by how long the dog stayed locked in place and whatever it was watching just beyond the blinds. At around 9:35 at night, the camera starts rolling in near silence, except for the sound of a woman crying somewhere in the house, while a man quietly narrates what he's hearing. To clear up any doubt, he pans the camera toward the television to show it was just a movie. What happens next is far more relevant though. Take a look.
Actividad paranormal en mi casa.
Me acuerdo de cada expresión en su cara.
Bueno, me encuentro viendo una película, ya casi van a ser las 10 de la noche.
Todo lo que pasó cuando estaba con él, si de verdad fue real. Yo los vi.
Escuché cosas allá en la cocina y mire, están todos estos cajones de arriba
Algo revuelta.
abiertos y pues
Cuando 2 toneladas de metal se impactan contra ti.
pensé que no iba a suceder nada hoy, pero
No importa, es la verdad. Peleamos esa semana, ¿lo olvidaste? Ustedes tuvieron un épico verano. Y eso jamás lo olvidaré.
vieja de huella en la cocina.
Sí. Yo no me olvidaré y solo era un espectador celosa. No puede ser. Es mi primer día de vuelta y ya estoy hecha un bodrio. Es cierto. Es la verdad.
Esos cajones se están moviendo solos.
Escuché lo que pasó, pues lo lamento mucho. Si fueras mi hija, te diría que lo usaras.
He slowly turns the camera back toward the doorway leading into the kitchen, explaining that unexplained activity has been happening in his house for weeks now. As he edges closer, one of the kitchen cabinets suddenly slams shut on its own with a sharp bang, making him flinch, but not retreat. He steps fully into the kitchen, heart clearly racing, when another cabinet door snaps closed right in front of him. Then, as if reacting to his movement, a third cabinet slams shut as he gets closer to it. Trying to stay calm, he opens each cabinet one by one, showing they're empty and nothing inside could have caused them to move. No loose hinges, no drafts, no pets in the room. Whatever was making itself known didn't need the noise anymore. It had already proven it was there. In this final clip, CCTV footage from inside a building captures something that genuinely defies logic. The camera is fixed on a quiet doorway with no one anywhere in frame. For a while, nothing happens at all until it does.
Look at that. There's no way that could have failed by, like, somebody didn't do that. Something did that by itself. How could a ceiling light fall on its own like that? There's no way. No way.
Without warning, the ceiling light suddenly rips free and crashes straight down onto the floor below. There's no shaking beforehand, no visible trigger, no person nearby who could have touched it. Lights like that do not just fall on their own, especially in an empty, secured area. The impact echoes through the hallway, and the room is left completely still again, as if nothing happened. After reviewing the footage, staff confirmed nobody had entered the area before or after the incident. The security guard on duty that night reportedly resigned the very next day, saying the footage was enough for him. Whatever caused that light to fall was never identified, and the building has since gained a reputation among workers as a place you do not want to be alone in. Ethan had woken up suddenly in the middle of the night to the sound of footsteps moving around outside his bedroom. At first, he thought it was just his imagination, but when they didn't stop, he grabbed his phone and started filming in complete darkness to prove what he was hearing. This is what he captured.
Oh my god, guys. I don't know what the going on. I just woke up. There's like footsteps. Listen to this shit, can y'all hear it? What? Oh hell no, what the fuck was that, dog? Pull up. Alright, yo, I gotta check this shit out. What the hell? Nobody out here. Nobody out here, what the f? I gotta go get my mom. Oh, what the?
The video is almost pitch black, with only faint outlines visible, but the sound is unmistakable with slow, deliberate footsteps echoing just beyond his door. Then, something drops outside the room, a small clatter that makes Ethan jolt. He quickly turns the light on and steps out into the front yard, filming as he looks around. Nobody's there. The entire place is now empty and silent. Still recording, he turns back toward his room, clearly shaken. But as he walks in, the camera catches something horrifying. For a brief second, a completely blacked out face peeks around the edge of the doorway, watching him, before instantly pulling back out of sight. Ethan gasps, the phone shakes, and the clip ends there. It's one of those moments where even though the light is on, the darkness feels closer than ever. After hearing strange noises coming from his garage late at night, a man decided to grab his phone and start recording to see if he could figure out what was going on. The moment he walked in, something immediately seemed off. The attic door above was hanging open, even though he was certain it had been closed earlier that evening. Instinctively, he began to record.
Holy shit. What the? I heard a noise, and I came out here and this door was open and now it just shut by itself. Light. What the? Oh, I'm scared out of my freaking mind.
nobody up here.
He points the camera up toward it, filming in silence for a few seconds before the attic door suddenly slams shut on its own. A loud thud echoes through the garage, followed by the unmistakable sound of scuttling footsteps moving across the ceiling, as if something, or someone, was scurrying around up there. Gathering his nerves, he slowly pulls the string to open it again. The light flickers on, casting a pale glow into the attic above. He climbs up the ladder, still filming, expecting to find an animal, or maybe even an intruder. But when he reaches the top, there's nothing. No movement, no sound, just an empty attic filled with dust and boxes. Whatever had just shut the door and ran across the ceiling had vanished without a trace. After the video started gaining attention online, some viewers decided to take a closer look at the footage from the attic scene. What they discovered made the entire situation far more unsettling. One fan brightened the video frame by frame to see if anything had been hiding in the shadows, and what appeared was chilling. Take a look.
What the hell is this shit? I did not see it. I had no freaking idea until y'all started screenshotting the shit. But I took the video and I brightened it up. So if you want to see it, here it is. I got this light on because the last time, I think it was when the freaking motion detected, I turned the freaking light on when after I went up there and looked. That's what some people were asking, why the light was on when the attic door rattled. That was why. And yeah, I know some of y'all are disappointed because I didn't have the freaking camera pointed right at the door. But the reason why I put the camera in the attic was because y'all said y'all saw something saw like a person up there, so I pointed the camera into the attic. You know what I mean? I didn't know that the door was gonna freaking rattle. I can't see the future, and I don't have a time machine to go back and point it at the freaking attic door. And people are saying, no, get a second camera. Okay, maybe I will. I don't know. But like, y'all need to chill. Who gives a fuck about the damn door, man? There's a freaking shadow figure, ghost, whatever, the fuck in my attic.
On the far side of the attic, partially obscured by the dim lighting, a faint human-like figure can be seen standing perfectly still. Its body is dark and hazy, almost blending into the background, but the outline is unmistakable, and it looks like a person watching him from across the room. The man never reacted to it in real time, meaning he had no idea it was even there while filming. Many who've analyzed the footage believe it wasn't a person at all, but rather a full-bodied apparition caught by pure accident. Whatever was in that attic with him wasn't just making noise, but it was standing right there the entire time, ready to frighten its victim. Leandro had been hearing strange knocking sounds coming from one of the rooms in his house, so he decided to start recording to figure out what was causing it. The camera captures him, standing in the hallway, staring at the door as the knocking continues. What happens next is simply unexplainable, so have a watch.
Me acaban de cerrar la puerta en la cara, pero no llegué a grabarlo. Se escucha la puerta del baño. Se me acaban de reír en la cara. Mostrate. Yo ya no te tengo miedo, ¿vale? Reíte. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Dónde carajo estás? ¿Dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás? Mostrate acá, dale.
After a few seconds, the door suddenly creaks open on its own, the sound slow and eerie as it swings inward. Leandro steps closer. He cautiously walks inside, only for another door in the same room to also close with no visible force applied, followed by what sounds like a faint giggle, which is high-pitched and childlike. He freezes for a moment before opening that door, revealing a small, private bathroom. The shower curtain inside is gently swaying, moving as if someone had just brushed past it. Heart pounding, he walks over and yanks the curtain back, but there's no one there. When he turns around, the camera catches something even stranger. His large teddy bear sitting on the bed, its head now tilted downward as if watching him. In a follow-up post, Leandro explained that he believes the teddy was the source of the haunting and has since sold it, hoping whatever was attached to it left with it. Emily was out on a late-night food delivery shift when she came across something that left her completely shaken. She was delivering an order to a quiet suburban home, the kind of place that looked totally normal from the outside. Little did she know how much the interior contested this.
Hello? Hello? I have your DoorDash order. Can you put it on the stool, please? I'm not really supposed to come into houses. It's just inside the door. It doesn't really matter how far it is. I'm not supposed to. Please? It would make it easier for me. It's just kind of, can't you just come to the door? It's just kind of a safety hazard for me to come in the house. No, I can't come to the door. Can you put it on the stool? It's easy, it's just inside. I'll just leave it here. I'm not allowed to come inside, and I will not come inside. Come on, you fucking bitch, it's not hard. Yeah, no.
She sets the bag down by the front door and steps back to take a photo for proof of delivery when the door suddenly opens on its own. Confused, Emily calls out a polite hello, and to her shock, a voice from inside calmly replies with a hello back. She explains she has a DoorDash order for the homeowner, but the voice interrupts, telling her to put it on the stool just inside the doorway. Emily hesitates and refuses, saying she can't enter the house. The unseen woman insists again, her tone growing sharper, saying it makes it easier for her. Emily nervously repeats that she can't, but the voice suddenly snaps, calling her names and saying it's not that hard. At that point, Emily quickly places the bag down on the doorstep and hurries away from the house, visibly shaken. Later, she said that when she checked the app, the customer had already marked the order as delivered, yet no one was ever seen in the doorway. Comment what you think this mystery was caused by. In this next clip, a group of 3 friends, including someone named Kuma, were exploring their office late at night, which they believed to be haunted, when something strange started happening on camera. They were casually walking down the stairs, talking quietly, when one of them noticed something floating in front of them, and it was very weird.
It all started when we talked about paranormal beings. We decided to follow it.
Here. Bear, explain this, man. Bro, it just turned a fucking corner. The fact that it miss you forever too, and it came out of nowhere.
It then started to follow us after we cut it off.
The entire time, I'm gonna need that video from you. Looking at the stop coming over here. Literally looking at the ceiling. I was staring at the ceiling the whole time because it's a cool ceiling.
Like, because it's got the orb, the whole.
Yeah, it's got the. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Let it do its thing.
I see it going from a 2 shower to 1 shower.
Whoa. You guys see the force on that?
Yeah, you know, it's fucking troll.
At first, it looked like dust, or maybe a piece of fabric caught in the air, but as they kept filming, it became clear this wasn't moving naturally at all. The faint shape began to drift upward, slowly twisting and floating in circles as if it had a mind of its own. There was no wind source anywhere, with no open windows, no fans, nothing that could have caused that kind of motion. The three friends watched in stunned silence before deciding to follow it further down the stairs, hoping to figure out what it was. Whatever it was seemed almost aware of them, changing direction just slightly each time they got close. This was only the beginning of what they caught that night, making it an easy setup for what's coming next. After following the strange floating shape for several minutes, the group eventually lost sight of it somewhere near the lower floor of the building. They started to think maybe it had drifted out of view, or that the moment was over, until something even weirder happened.
Are you gonna come join us, or are you gonna go downstairs? Bro, watch there be like some little kid or something back here. I'm gonna fucking flip my shit.
As Kuma panned the camera toward the barrier that led downstairs, a new white wisp suddenly appeared, gliding across the far end of the room with a smooth, eerie motion. It wasn't fast or random, and it moved like it was deliberately crossing their path. The group fell silent again, realizing whatever they were seeing wasn't just a trick of the light. Then, as Kuma turned the camera back toward the staircase, the same balloon they had been following earlier was now floating upward again, slowly rising toward them from below. It was as if it had come back on its own, perfectly timed with the other apparition's movement. What started as simple curiosity had turned into something much more unsettling that none of them could explain. For anyone new here, this is Ian, the Midwest ghost hunter, who's been exploring what's known as one of the most paranormally active sites he's ever visited, the abandoned factory. In this video, filmed at the same location as his previous investigations on this channel, Ian is exploring to see what his camera can capture. Little did he know it would be something so bizarre.
Looks like on the inside, you can still see like all the different remnants from when this place was just a factory. It's like a factory of horrors. Whoa. Oh my God. I heard a noise over there, and of course, it's gotta be nearby all the scary mannequins. Oh God. Looks like a congregation over there. Like a cult gathering. Did someone just make a noise over here? I swear to God, I just heard you. Man, if one of these frickin' things moves, I'm done. I'm out of here. Oh wow, they even got Wizard of Oz theme over there. If there's anyone over here, could you? What the hell was that? It sounded like something moved over here. Did you just move one of these mannequins? Could you move one right now? Any one of these. No. Oh. Dude! That thing just freaking started rocking! Oh, no.
As he walks through the dark, echoing hallways, He describes the place as a factory of horrors, the kind of building that feels wrong the moment you step inside. Eventually, he enters one of the strangest rooms yet, a large space filled with mannequins standing in rows, like some kind of forgotten display or a prop cult frozen in time. The camera captures the unsettling silence as Ian scans the room, when suddenly a loud metallic clang breaks through from somewhere nearby. He jumps slightly, turning toward the noise, but nothing moves. Then, faint scuttling sounds begin, like something shifting just out of sight between the mannequins. Ian steadies the camera, calling out to whatever might be there, even asking it to move one of them if it can hear him. A few seconds pass before one of the mannequins starts rocking gently, as if something had brushed against it. Ian whispers in disbelief, realizing this wasn't the wind or vibrations, it was a direct response. Subscribe if you want to see what happens when he comes back to the channel for the next part of this terrifying investigation. In the following video, a man behind his camera in a school captures something incredibly strange while walking through what appears to be an old sports facility. He starts recording as a heavy door in front of him is slowly shutting on its own, creaking eerily as it moves. Take a look.
Esa puerta también. ¿Vieron? Dicen que mis videos son actuados, pero están viendo, no hay nada. ¿Vieron cómo se cerró la puerta? No soy el único que mira o escucha cosas. Pero bueno.
He carefully approaches the closing door, moving to an angle that allows him to start looking behind to see if maybe someone was there pulling it closed, but the space is completely empty. Nobody's around, no strings, no air vents strong enough to cause that movement. Curious, he decides to step through the door into the sports hall, beyond it. The moment he crosses the threshold, the door suddenly stops moving, freezing mid-shut, as if whatever was closing it just stopped. He pans the camera around the wide, empty hall, showing rows of benches and a faint echo from his own footsteps, but there's no sign of anyone else. The entire thing feels unsettlingly timed, almost like the door only moved until he entered the hall, then deliberately went still. A few days later, the same man decided to return to the school, determined to see if he could capture anything else unusual on camera. This time, he was crouched at the end of one of the long corridors, filming as he went to document the atmosphere of the place.
¡Uy, pues su puta madre! Mira, hay nadie. Está cerrado. Vámonos de aquí.
Everything seems normal at first, as the lights hum faintly and the echo of his footsteps fill the hallway. But just as he starts to think nothing is going to happen this time, something strange happens at the far end. A large wheelie bin, which had been completely still, suddenly shifts a few inches on its own, rolling slightly across the floor before stopping again. There's no one near it, no airflow, and no reason for it to move at all. The man behind the camera is utterly shaken by what he just witnessed. The bin's subtle but deliberate movement adds another layer of mystery to the already unsettling activity he'd been documenting in this abandoned school, and who knows if he will ever return. In this next piece of footage, we're looking at security camera footage taken from inside a family home. The system detects movement in the dining room, and the homeowner's wife can be seen walking in before taking a seat at the table. What happens next is extremely hard to explain, so I'll let you watch it for yourself. The camera captures a series of loud bangs echoing throughout the room, though nothing seems to be falling or breaking. The noises suddenly stop, and the woman pulls out a chair, sitting down slowly at the table. What's unnerving is the way she sits. She sat with her arms laid flat across the surface, head bowed down, completely still. After a few seconds, the other chairs around her begin to shift on their own, sliding back as if invisible guests were taking their seats. Then one of the ornaments on the table slides across the surface, stopping right in front of her. A few moments later, a nearby door slams shut with a loud thud. The woman finally lifts her head slightly, breaking her stillness, and the clip cuts off abruptly, leaving viewers to wonder if she was ever really alone in that room. CCTV footage recorded at around 11 p.m. using a Wise camera set up in a living room captured something jaw-dropping. At first, nothing seems unusual as the footage is quiet, dimly lit, and the only movement comes from a few small orbs drifting near the camera lens. But 22 seconds in, things take a strange turn. On the left-hand side of the frame, just inside a doorway, something appears to peek out. It's quick but clear. The shape is small, almost childlike, and seems to lean forward before darting back out of sight. The house is supposed to be empty, yet there's definitely movement. A few seconds later, a lamp beside the door suddenly flickers to life on its own, illuminating the space where the figure appeared. The camera keeps rolling in silence after that, but nothing else moves. Many who've seen this footage believe it's some kind of spirit, especially considering no one else was home when it happened. Let me know what you think in the comment section though. The clip that I am going to expose you to shortly was recorded in pitch darkness with poor camera quality, relying entirely on night vision to capture what's happening. The footage begins with the man slowly walking toward a staircase, breathing heavily as he steadies the camera. What happens when he takes his first step up them is insane.
Okay, everybody, hold still for a second. Hello? Can you talk to us?
As soon as he steps onto the first stair, something faint but unmistakable moves in the background. A transparent figure gliding across behind a doorway at the top of the stairs. It's quick, almost ghost-like, fading out just as it comes into view. The man freezes and calls out hello into the silence, his voice echoing faintly through the hall. There's no response, no movement, nothing except for a few orbs drifting across the frame, floating gently past the camera lens before disappearing again. The eerie calm that follows makes the moment even more chilling, leaving it unclear whether he was truly alone in that house or not, disregarding his friend, of course. Val had been hearing strange noises coming from the basement for a few nights in a row and assumed it was just rats. Wanting to show her husband, who was at work, what was going on, she decided to grab her phone and film as she went downstairs to investigate. Little did she know that it wasn't really rats at all. The footage shows her carefully walking down the creaky basement steps, trembling slightly as she reaches the bottom. Everything seems quiet at first, until she stops ahead of an old wooden door. Faint scratching sounds can be heard coming from behind it, rhythmic and persistent, as if something is trying to get out. Val stays exactly where she is, when suddenly the door handle lets out a little movement. She gasps and stumbles back, the scratching growing louder for just a few seconds before abruptly stopping. The clip ends with her breathing heavily, unsure whether she'd just encountered rodents or something far worse. This piece of CCTV footage was recorded inside an employee's office long after work hours, and what it captures has left everyone who's seen it completely unsettled. The office had recently been renovated after a fire 2 years prior that destroyed part of the building, but ever since reopening, workers kept reporting odd experiences, such as objects falling from desks, faint whispers when nobody else was around, and even computers turning on by themselves. This clip shows one of those incidents caught on camera. In this particular recording, the room is empty and silent when a faint, transparent white wisp begins to move across the floor. It glides effortlessly across the room, twisting slightly, before rising and fading away into thin air. There's no glare from lights, no insects, and no reflections from outside, just a clear, ghostly shape that shouldn't have been there. After the footage surfaced, the office manager checked the building's security system and confirmed that no one had entered or left the building that night. Strangely, the motion sensors had only been triggered in that one room. Since then, a few employees have refused to work there alone, and it's now referred to by staff as the haunted office, the place where something from before the fire still lingers. An Amazon delivery driver named Leah was recording something strange she experienced while collecting packages from a local storage facility. She'd been doing this route for months with nothing out of the ordinary ever happening. But on this particular day, something inside the building didn't feel right from the moment she walked in, and this intuition proved itself correct.
These people think I'm crazy. Y'all, look at this shit. Just look. You see that shit? Y'all see that shit? Yo, watch this. Got it on camera. Thank God. What?
As she steps inside, the camera shows rows of storage lockers, most of them shut, except for some near the middle that are mysteriously hanging open. As she shouts to the camera, she closes them, along with a few others that had been left slightly ajar. Everything seems fine as she steps back, but then as she films from a short distance away, one of the lockers she had just closed creaks and slowly opens itself again. The metal door drags open all the way before stopping on its own, as if something invisible had pushed it from the inside. She didn't stick around to find out what it was. A man named Chavez claimed he'd been hearing faint scraping sounds coming from his living room and was convinced his toy cars had been moving on their own while he wasn't looking. Half asleep and clearly nervous, he grabbed his phone and started recording to see if he could finally prove it.
It's 3:30 in the morning. I swear on my life. For freaking toy cars. Oh, you've got to be f***ing me. No. No, sir. No, ma'am. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know whether to wake Elizabeth or somebody call Justin Nunley or an exorcist. I don't fucking know. I mean, I'm not scared, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't shaking. So I'm just gonna leave it there till the morning for Elizabeth to come play with it. And it's not electronical, y'all. There ain't no damn motor in that thing. I feel so weird and out of place right now. I don't know if it's still there. To be truthful, I'm thinking about just leaving Elizabeth in Revelation and going somewhere for the night. I don't know what to do. Let's check on it. You still there? Pirates of the Caribbean's getting good. I'm not scared. I'm just kind of freaked out because, like, it's friendly. Has it thrown it?
In the footage, the room is completely still at first, the toy car sitting alone on the floor with nothing near it. Then, without Chavez touching it or even getting close, the car suddenly jerks forward in short, uneven bursts, stopping and starting as if something invisible is nudging it along. Chavez can be heard breathing heavier as he watches it move, clearly not expecting it to actually happen on camera. He doesn't interfere or try to test it, instead keeping his distance while filming. After a few seconds, the car comes to a stop right in the middle of the room and doesn't move again. Chavez leaves it exactly where it is and backs away, ending the clip shaken. According to him, this whole situation scares him enough to make him sleep outside. For the next few days, Chavez refused to touch the toy at all and told his wife Elizabeth not to move it either, hoping whatever happened was a one-time thing. But 2 nights later, he woke up with that same uneasy feeling and immediately started filming again.
I actually fell asleep, and this is what I woke up to. Elizabeth. Baby. Hey.
Goodbye.
Okay, no, for real, like... So, what are we doing? Oh. Okay. Are you friendly?
We're moving.
I don't think it's, like, irritated. I fell asleep out here, and I promise you she didn't place it there. Last night, I blessed this cup before I went to bed. So, we're gonna do this together. I'm gonna have Elizabeth hold the phone. Okay, so, in Jesus' name, power Christ compels you, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I don't think it's evil, man. You know, because it'd be like, oh, weed. Somebody said salt. Hold on.
I don't know if you're supposed to draw a circle around it.
Well, it's a half circle, but I don't think you're supposed to do anything else. I don't know. Y'all got suggestions, let me know.
He quietly wakes Elizabeth and their daughter, bringing them into the room so they can all see it together. The toy car is still sitting exactly where it stopped days earlier, untouched. As they're watching, it suddenly rolls forward again on its own, slowly this time, right in front of all three of them. Elizabeth gasps, and before anyone can even react, a completely different toy nearby starts moving too, sliding across the floor in the same unnatural way. That's when Chavez completely loses his composure. He begins speaking out loud, using religious words and prayers, demanding whatever is there to leave their home. The toys don't respond, they just stop moving, as if they're listening. The clip ends shortly after, with Chavez saying they're moving out as soon as possible. He later claimed the activity didn't stop, but this was the last time he was willing to film it, unsure if what he said actually worked or just made things worse. Sleeping can be hard sometimes, especially when you suffer like the man in our following video, who claims his nights have been getting worse for reasons he can't explain. He starts recording from his bed after noticing strange orbs drifting across his camera in the darkness, slowly floating in and out of frame like something is lingering in the room with him.
Raza, son las 3 de la mañana, se siguen escuchando muchos ruidos allá afuera. Quieren abrir la puerta, Raza. ¿Qué está pasando? Ay, Dios mío. Ay, Dios mío, líbrame del mal. Desde que compré ese espejo, Raza. Ay.
As he lies there watching, the door to his bedroom suddenly begins to rattle violently, the handle shaking as if someone on the other side is trying to get in. He hesitates for a moment before finally getting out of bed and opening it, expecting to find someone standing there, but the room is completely empty. Before he can even process that, a small table inside the room suddenly tips over on its own, crashing to the floor without being touched. Panicked, he backs away and retreats to his bed, breathing hard and keeping the camera on a mirror. That's when it gets worse. The door starts knocking repeatedly, fast and deliberate, like someone is pounding to be let in. Each knock echoes through the room while he stays frozen in place, too scared to move. Whatever was making those sounds clearly didn't want him sleeping peacefully that night, and it wasn't done yet. An hour later, after sitting in silence trying to convince himself it was over, he decides to start filming again, this time forcing himself to be brave. He turns the camera back on inside his bedroom, whispering that he wants proof and that he isn't running anymore.
Es la 1 de la mañana, acaban de prender la luz de la sala. Desde que compré ese espejo están pasando todas las cosas raras. A la madre. ¿Qué fue eso? Eso se está saliendo de control ya.
Almost immediately, something horrifying happens. In the doorway ahead of him, a black, head-shaped figure slowly peeks around the corner, just enough for its outline to be clearly visible. The moment he reacts, it snaps back out of sight, hiding again, as if it knows it's been seen. Shaken but determined, he leaves the room and begins checking the rest of the apartment, moving through the hallway, the living room, and the kitchen, showing every corner as proof that no one else is there. Every light is off, every door is empty, and there's nowhere a person could be hiding. When he returns to the bedroom, the doorway is clear again, but the feeling hasn't gone away. Whatever peeked at him wasn't physical, wasn't accidental, and wasn't trying very hard to stay hidden. After everything that happened earlier, this moment convinced him that something was sharing the apartment with him and watching him when he thought he was alone. A woman staying alone in a Lake District hotel room decided to start filming after a series of strange noises echoed through the building late at night. She had been getting ready to go out when the sounds began, dull bangs mixed with faint whispering that seemed to travel through the walls. At first she brushed it off as other guests, but the corridors outside were silent. Uneasy, she turned her camera toward the bedroom and started calling out, asking if anyone was there.
Hello? Oh. Hello? Hello?
The room is almost completely dark as she films, her voice shaky, while the whispers seem to fade in and out. Trying to prove to herself it was nothing, she steps out into the hotel corridor, panning the camera left and right to show it is completely empty. No footsteps, no voices, no doors open. But just as she stands there, frozen, a sharp knock comes from inside her room behind her. Then another. Whatever had been whispering earlier was clearly still inside. The clip ends without her going back in, and she later explains she left the hotel shortly after, choosing to spend the rest of the night elsewhere, rather than stay alone with whatever was knocking from inside her room. The Bearded Explorer, a well-known urban explorer with over 250,000 subscribers, was filming a walkthrough of an abandoned facility he'd explored before without any issues. Confident and calm, he was narrating as he moved down a long corridor, after explaining the history of the place, when something suddenly changed.
Starting to be some really weird stuff in here.
A sharp noise echoes from extremely close to him, close enough that he immediately panics and backs up, breathing faster as he fumbles to grab his camera properly. The moment he lifts it and turns back down the corridor, the reason becomes clear. At the far end, barely lit and almost blending into the darkness, a strange human-shaped figure is standing completely still. It doesn't move toward him, but it doesn't disappear either. The second he notices it, all composure is gone. He turns and runs, faster than at any point in his channel's history, his breathing frantic. After escaping the building, he later admitted he couldn't explain what he saw and refused to return to that location. For someone as experienced as him to react like that, It left viewers convinced whatever was in that corridor wasn't just another shadow. Christopher and a few friends were exploring their abandoned elementary school late in the evening, filming as they moved from room to room, joking nervously about how eerie the place felt after dark. The building had been shut down for years, and they were confident nobody else was inside with them.
والله طفى التليفون شيء والله شاحن فل طفى الحمد لله على الباب خليني اشوف التليفون كم بطلع لا يبا تعال امشي كم بطلع التليفون طفى ولا تعب على اللي ما يدي التليفون انت شو مخليني اخر واحد كانوا ماسك هذا لا تعال حمام صبيان حمام صبيان
As Christopher slowly pans the camera across one of the classrooms, everything seems normal at first, just peeling posters and dusty floors. But for a split second mid-pan, something appears in the frame that none of them notice at the time. A small, childlike figure is standing near the middle of the room, partially obscured, and watching them. It's only there for a moment before the camera moves past it, making it easy to miss unless you slow the footage down. When viewers later pointed it out, the group were horrified. There was no way a child could have been in the building, and the figure didn't match any of their silhouettes or movements. The proportions were wrong, the posture was unnatural, and no one remembered seeing anything in that spot. What makes it even more unsettling is where it appeared, inside a school meant for children, long abandoned and silent. Whatever that figure was, it clearly wasn't supposed to be there, and it seemed to be watching them just as closely as they were exploring the building. This next clip brings us back to Ian, a Midwest ghost hunter some of you might already recognize. But for anyone new here, he's been documenting his investigation inside the same abandoned factory, where activity has been escalating with every visit. This moment happens much later into the night.
Okay, I am not liking this. Who's there? It's like a kitchen. Severed foot. Severed hand. Thank God these are just props. Otherwise I'd have to call the police. Jesus. Feels like I'm in Ed Gein's house right now. Anyone in here? Sounded like something in there. If there's anyone in there, could you peek out from this doorway? Man, I get a creepy feeling looking in there. What the f was that? Something just went flying. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
Without warning, the severed hand prop flies off the table as if it were grabbed by an unseen force.
Who just threw that? They threw something off the table.
Ian pauses in one of the darker sections of the factory and asks out loud if whatever is there was summoned to this place, rather than being trapped in it. Almost immediately, faint but distinct banging sounds echo from somewhere deeper in the building, spaced out and distant, like a response rather than random noise. He follows the sound carefully, moving through narrow corridors until he ends up in what looks like an old kitchen area that shouldn't feel as unsettling as it does. On one of the tables are severed foot and hand props, which Ian initially assumes were left behind from filming or some kind of staged setup. But as he scans the room, another unexplained noise comes from a nearby space, and his tone shifts completely. He steps closer, visibly uneasy, focusing on the table again when, without warning, one of the severed hand props suddenly flies off the surface and hits the floor. There's no one near it, nothing touching the table, and no logical force behind the movement. Ian backs up instantly, clearly shaken, realizing that whatever responded to him earlier wasn't finished interacting. The factory had already been active, but this moment made it clear that something there was reacting directly to him. The following video begins with the camera shaking slightly, the person behind it clearly nervous. A young woman is filming inside her bathroom after noticing something strange. The toilet paper roll swaying on its own, and the blinds shifting as if a breeze was pushing through, even though the window is closed.
I don't remember fucking opening that. What the fuck is that? Okay. Oh shit. What the fuck is that? Fuck. What is that? Why? That's on the outside. What honestly is that? What honestly is that? I can use which. What the fuck is? It's on the outside. It's on the outside. I'm scared. I'm terrified. I'm hard. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
Once she starts to record, she moves closer, her breathing quick, whispering to herself as she reaches for the blinds to check behind them. There's nothing there, just an empty window. She turns the camera back toward the window, and that's when it happens. 3 distinct finger marks suddenly drag themselves across the surface, leaving behind white scratch-like streaks, as if something unseen had swiped at it. The sound is faint, but sharp, enough to make her jump back. She slams the blinds shut, muttering nervously before quickly walking out of the bathroom. The clip ends abruptly, the camera still trembling, and whatever made those marks remains completely unseen. Ellen had been home alone that night when the knocking started. At first, it was faint, but then it grew louder, more desperate, like someone begging to be let inside. The camera shakes slightly in his hands as he walks through the dimly lit hallway toward the front door, his voice trembling as he whispers that he's scared.
Pensé que ya lo había visto todo, pero... Oh my God. Pero... esto es lo que está sucediendo en estos momentos. Sonidos y gritos extraños. Y ahora la puerta. Como pueden ver, estoy completamente solo. No sé a qué me estoy enfrentando, pero tengo mucho miedo, mucho miedo. Vamos a ver qué es lo que podemos captar. No sé si ustedes logran ver algo o logran ver a ver qué o quién está haciendo estos ruidos, ese llanto. Son las 4:45 de la madrugada y no, nada más esto me faltaba. No manches.
The knocking continues in sharp bursts until he finally reaches for the lock and hesitantly opens the door. For a moment, there's only silence, and then soft crying can be heard from outside. The sound is faint but heart-wrenching, echoing through the empty street. Ellen freezes, then quickly shuts the door again, locking it tightly and backing away. He tries to calm his breathing as he walks off, clearly in a state of distress and nerves. But before he can reach his room, a low, eerie whistling begins from behind the door, slow and deliberate, as if whoever or whatever was out there knew he was listening. The clip cuts there, ending with Ellen running toward his room in pure panic. Sophie had been feeling uneasy all day after hearing strange noises in her room, the kind that made her question if someone else was there. To calm down, she stepped outside with a ball, kicking it gently across the yard while trying not to look back at the house. The camera follows her as she walks further away, her tone light but nervous. She must have been starting to feel better at least.
I'm like really paranoid right now. Ew, it smells weird in my mouth. Oh, that just went. Hello? Oh no, I'm out. I'm done. That's it. I'm out. No.
About a minute and 16 seconds into the recording, a faint whisper can be heard calling her name. The most frightening part is that it isn't just any voice, it's her own, perfectly matching her tone and pitch, but coming from behind her near the house. She freezes instantly, the ball rolling to a stop beside her foot. The whisper repeats, softer this time, almost teasing. Without hesitating, Sophie sprints back toward the house, the camera shaking wildly as she fumbles for the door. She rushes inside, slams it shut, and locks it, her breathing heavy. Who knows if she truly escaped whatever this was that night, but what we do know is she is too frightened to inform her parents. Late one night, Wyatt was sitting on his bed when his dog suddenly started barking toward the window. At first, he thought it was just another animal outside, but the dog's behavior quickly turned strange. It wasn't looking out the window. It was staring just beside it, inside the room.
It has been freaking me out for about 15 minutes. I know, dude. What's going on? What are you seeing? And something's been spooking him. He's jumping around. This dude. What are you seeing? Why don't you back up? Charlie. I know. Calm down. It's okay. What are you seeing? You're freaking me out, buddy. Do we need to go? Should we go, Bubba? You tell me when it's time to go. 'Cause I don't know what you're looking at, but when we need to go, you let me know, buddy. What's freaking you out, bub? Okay. Should we go? Yeah? You leave when we gotta go. As soon as you walk out, I'll be right behind you.
Wyatt aimed the camera in that direction, but nothing could be seen. The dog, however, wouldn't stop growling, its fur raised and tail tucked low, letting out uneasy whines between low rumbles. Wyatt tried to calm it, gently saying it was okay, but the dog's focus stayed fixed on something above eye level, as if whatever it saw was tall and standing against the wall. The tension builds until Wyatt nervously asks his dog if it wants to go. That's when it happens. A faint, unmistakable male voice answers softly from the direction of the window. It says, yes, but in a tone that's quiet and almost playful. Wyatt doesn't actually realize the ghost replies, whilst the dog slowly backs away, still growling at the empty space. The clip ends there, leaving the voice unexplained. A woman had started filming after hearing footsteps echoing faintly through her house late at night. Her voice is quiet, unsure, as she moves from room to room, trying to figure out where the sounds are coming from. She eventually stops outside the bathroom with an evident suspicion that it may be involved with the haunting. The air feels heavy, and for a few seconds, everything goes still. She steps inside the bathroom, looking around with the camera pointed toward the mirror and shower, but nothing seems out of place. Then, just as she's about to turn the camera off, something subtle happens. Exactly 1 minute into the video, a clear shadow passed across the railings of the stairs ahead of her, and it was moving smoothly as if someone had just walked by. The woman didn't notice it at the moment, but when she reviewed the footage later, that shadow confirmed what she'd feared all along. She hadn't been alone in the house that night. Misty had decided to post a follow-up video after her previous paranormal clip gained a lot of attention. In this one, she slowed the footage down to show what really happened. It was from her baby cam facing the crib where her youngest was sleeping, while her older son's bunk bed was left vacant due to him being at football practice.
Hey y'all, I see all of your comments coming through. I had no idea that that this video was going to blow up like it did, so I have not been able to respond to everybody. A lot of you had said that the video was too fast for you to see anything, so I'll include it on here with it slowed down. I still have no idea what happened or what that was. I left the house today. My son had a football game and my mother-in-law was here. She lost internet for like, I don't know, maybe 2 hours. That was really the only weird thing that happened while I was gone for her. And that's all I have. It was a 4-second video. As soon as I saw that object appear on the top of the bunk bed, I just threw my phone and camera and I just went running up there. So I just really didn't get much longer of a video than that. I will see how tonight goes and see what we need to do further, if it's nothing or if it ends up being something. So have a good night.
For a few seconds, everything looks peaceful until a strange shadow-like object suddenly pops out from the side of the bunk. It moves quickly, almost like it's crawling or leaning forward, before vanishing just as fast as it appeared. Misty immediately ran upstairs when she first saw it live, convinced something was in the room, but when she got there, nothing was out of place. No one else was upstairs, and her baby was sound asleep. Thankfully, the baby was completely fine, but the slowed-down footage made it impossible to ignore that something unexplainable had definitely appeared beside the crib. After the slowed-down footage went viral, a lot of people in the comments wanted to know more about the room itself, so Misty decided to vlog the entire space to clear things up. She started by explaining that the baby had been moved into this room recently from what was now her home office. From the start of the video, she admits she always feels uneasy there, saying it's hard to even breathe when she walks inside. Take a look at what happens when she plucks up the courage to enter, though.
Okay, a lot of y'all were asking about the room situation, so I'm gonna run that through real quick. We moved my daughter from this room into this room. She got new furniture. That's why the bunk bed is still in there. Then we moved the baby from my office, which used to be her bedroom, now it's my office again, up into this room. So this is the attic that's in between the rooms that I was talking about that's cracked. It's been that way for a while, so it's not something that I'm overly concerned about, but y'all have got me freaking out in the comments. I cannot even breathe walking in this room, so I am truly terrified, but I'm gonna walk y'all in here real quick. This is the bunk bed. This is where I took her out of her crib, ran up the bunk bed. There was nothing up there when I came. We have her rocking chair, her changing station, her closet with all of the stuff that we still need to put up. This is where I have everything that was gifted. I know a lot of y'all were saying check stuff that came from a thrift store or that wasn't yours, because it might be causing it. I will show you guys up here. There's nothing suspicious. There's no hair from like a rat or something that could have came in. This is marker. These are still tucked in on the sides, like they're still tight from, you know, if somebody was trying to be underneath the blankets. I don't think that's plausible, so I don't know. I have no idea what could be causing it. Oh my God, it's rocking.
She turns the light on and shows that nothing seems unusual at first. The crib sits quietly in the corner, and she points up to the top bunk to prove there's nothing up there either. Everything appears normal, but as she's talking, something subtle shifts in the background. The small chair next to the bed begins to rock gently on its own. Misty freezes, the camera shaking slightly as she realizes what's happening. The chair keeps moving, slow but deliberate, as if someone invisible had just stood up from it. The clip cuts off as she lets out a loud scream and starts her escape from the room, ending the video abruptly. In the next video, Misty is sitting in the living room doing her daughter's hair, trying to get back to normal after everything that had happened. She's chatting softly to her, laughing here and there, and for the first few seconds, everything feels calm.
Mom, how'd you sleep last night?
Good, but Avery woke up a lot last night.
Oh, you slept with me. How would you have heard her wake up? She slept all night.
There was music playing from her room. You guys were like laughing.
Are you sure you weren't dreaming?
I don't think I was dreaming. I got like no sleep.
Sorry, baby.
Oh, it's Brandon. Hi, Brandon.
Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning.
You already awake?
Yeah.
How was your night?
Sissy said that Avery kept her up all night because she said she heard her like laughing and playing and music going in her room.
Didn't you have her in the room? That's not our room.
Yeah, I had Avery last night.
Yeah, you have some crazy dreams or?
That's what I said.
I'm just gonna call, make sure you're awake and getting ready. I love you. I'll call you later, okay?
Love you.
Bye.
Then, around 11 seconds in, a faint voice can be heard over the background noise. It's quiet, but clear enough to make out. It says, "Hey." Misty doesn't seem to notice it right away, but viewers caught it instantly and flooded the comments asking who else was in the room. She later confirmed that it was just her and her daughter home at the time. No one else had been in the house, and the voice hadn't come from the TV or her phone. After hearing it back herself, Misty admitted she's now looking into how to sell the house altogether, saying she can't shake the feeling that whatever was in there isn't finished with them yet. In the following video, a man was walking through a storage complex late at night when he noticed something strange reflecting off the side of a stack of boxes. At first, it looked like the shadow of a person standing completely still, but the moment he turned the corner to see who was there, the entire space ahead of him was empty. Take a look.
Quiero que chequen algo en esa tarima de ahí. Eso. Y chequen, estoy yo solo. No hay nadie aquí. Ni de este lado, ni para acá. Vean. Nada. Puto almacén vacío hasta su pinche madre.
He slowly walks down the long, stretched aisle between the rows of storage units, sweeping his light left and right as he passes each gap. But there's nobody. The space is silent, the concrete floors untouched, and no weird sounds echo. The shadow he saw moments earlier should have belonged to someone standing right there, yet there's no sign of movement, no footsteps, and nowhere to hide. By the end of the clip, he's fully convinced he saw something that wasn't human, and he wasn't wrong. Later on, security footage from the facility was checked, and it confirmed that not a single person entered or exited during the time he filmed. Whatever cast that shadow wasn't supposed to be there, and it left no trace behind except the moment it revealed itself. Basements are the most likely place in somebody's house to be haunted, and for Taz, that idea has basically become a daily reality. Activity in his basement has picked up so much recently that he now films every single time he goes down there, just in case something happens. This time, he was carrying a load of laundry down the stairs, trying to act normal, even though he admits the place never feels empty.
A ghost lives in my basement. Activities have picked up, so I decided to record every time I go down there. This time I caught it on video.
He sets the laundry on the counter, the camera catching the whole room behind him while he starts sorting through clothes and loading them into the washing machine. Everything is quiet for a moment, just the sound of fabric rustling, until something in the background suddenly moves. A bright yellow object sitting on the wall shifts on its own in a very obvious way, like someone nudged it. Taz doesn't notice at first, still focused on the washer, but the object continues to wobble before collapsing entirely a few seconds later, falling off the shelf as if pushed. There's nobody else in the basement, no draft, nothing touching it. This wasn't a light object being blown over either. It was something heavy enough that it only ever moves when something interacts with it. For Taz, it's just more evidence that whatever is living in that basement hasn't calmed down at all and might actually be getting stronger. In a haunted housing complex, the Scottish Ghost Company returned to one of the strangest locations they've ever investigated, an abandoned multi-house property where they've had responses before. It's just the two of them, a man and a woman, walking slowly through the empty rooms with nothing but their flashlights cutting through the darkness. They remind viewers that nobody else is anywhere in the entire complex, and the silence around them feels impossibly heavy. Eventually, they step into a room they call one of the most active spots in the building and greet whatever spirit might still linger there. They ask if it can open the door for them, half expecting nothing to happen, but of course, something does.
Hi everybody, I know you can't see us very well, but we are here.
Hi!
Hi. We are alone in a building which, sorry, I'm just going to turn you around. Yeah, we are alone in this old
warehouse complex.
We have set up a room video. We've been live on Facebook and we've had quite good responses from a door moving on its own in here.
So the only other living person is the security guard, who is about 3 buildings away. So there's absolutely nobody except us in the whole area.
So we've heard so many loud bangs in here. So we're going to try and do it again. Hi Spirit, we're back again. Is that? Well, when we left this, it was open.
It was wide open.
Spirit, if you're still with us, I know I said I wasn't coming back. Could you...
I'm so impressed with what you were able to do.
Can you open the door, please, if you're still with us?
Oh my god.
Thank you so much. What was that?
Oh my god.
Okay, Spirit, thank you. Can you close it again, please? Close the door over, please. We're really impressed. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Well done. Now...
A moment later, the door begins to move, slowly and smoothly, swinging fully open without a single creak. Both of them stare with wide eyes, shocked, but keeping surprisingly calm as they thank the spirit. Then they ask if it can close the door again multiple times, but there's a brief pause before the door gently pulls itself shut, the same smooth movement as before. The whole interaction is clear, controlled, and impossible to explain, but at least the investigators and I got content. A team of paranormal agents were visiting a preserved heritage home that once caught fire decades ago. They had been invited to document any lingering activity, and on this particular night they decided to use a Ouija board, along with a few basic pieces of equipment to see if anything would respond. The room was calm at first, quiet except for the soft beeps of their devices checking for movement or EMF spikes. Take a look.
Stephen was a name that we had come to know throughout our time there that could potentially unravel some of the story that we had come to find out.
So we're trying to see if anybody's here.
Maybe somebody named Steven or...
Immediately the REM pod as soon as he said Steven.
And it hasn't gone off.
It hasn't gone off
in
even
hours.
during the live stream. It didn't go off at all. And solid. It did go off earlier that one time in the bathroom, but...
That's really weird.
What was that?
Yeah, you heard that too?
Yeah, it was a shh. I heard something behind me. Oh my god. Okay, let's say goodbye.
As soon as one of them mentioned the name Stephen, a former resident who lived there before the fire, the equipment lit up instantly, as if something was acknowledging the name. Shortly after, they heard something strange say, "Find me to them both," as if beckoning them to explore this place further. Both investigators froze, shocked by how clear and direct the message was. While they tried to process it, something else in the room started drawing their attention. On the far wall, an old decoration hanging from a hook began to gently sway back and forth, even though nobody was near it. The rest of the room remained still. No windows open, nothing that could have caused it. The timing made it feel like Stephen, or whatever answered to that name, was trying to guide them somewhere, or warn them of something he could not show himself. The agents quickly realized they were dealing with something intelligent, and this heritage home still held more secrets than anyone imagined. It started as one of those nights where the silence feels heavier than sleep, and this guy at Camp Shields in Okinawa, Japan, could tell something was off the moment he sat up in the dark feeling watched. He had just thrown his helmet toward the door where he swore the presence came from, and now he was talking into the empty room like he expected something to answer, almost pleading for the ghost to show it was real. It had already woken him up, so why not continue?
I didn't just see a hand. You mad or what? You mad I threw that helmet at you? Do it again. Make some noise. Show me you're real. Island. Show me. Satan ass motherfucker. Show me. Prove to me that you're real. Do it. What, you mad? Show me. Swing some shit. Make them noises and shit that you did when you woke me up. Do it. Do it. Do it. Oh my gosh, bro.
He waits, hears knocking like the ghost is getting mad, and an orb crosses the screen. The moment that orb drifts by, his whole energy shifts because he knows he didn't imagine that knock, and he definitely didn't imagine something moving across the room. You can hear the nervous laugh behind his voice, but also that moment of regret when it hits him that maybe he pushed a little too hard. People always think they want proof until the lights go quiet again, and you're alone with whatever just answered you, and he suddenly seems very aware that asking for a sign might have invited something closer than he ever expected. It picked up right where he left off, the room still feeling tight and charged, like the air didn't reset after that orb passed, and he kept the camera pointed at the corner because he swore something was still moving in there. He tried to steady his breathing, but before he even got close to being calm, the cupboard behind him opened and slammed shut like something inside was answering with attitude.
Part 2.
Bruh. Hey! Hey, chill the f out. Hey! Cut that shit off. Shut the fuck up!
He turns, trying to get a good angle while filming as 2 knocks hit from inside the cupboard. He tells it to chill the fuck out. Then a harsh scraping sound erupts, followed by something falling to the floor. The sound sends him spinning back toward the camera, because that scrape was way too real and way too close for him to pretend it was nothing. And you can hear in his voice that it is no longer curiosity pushing him forward, but straight up panic holding him in place. There is this moment where he just freezes, staring at the cupboard like he is waiting to see if whatever is in there is going to come out. And you can tell he knows he crossed a line. He had asked for proof, and now it felt like something was trying to claw its way into the room just to give it to him. And that regret hit him harder than anything the ghost could throw. It was one of those late-night walkthroughs, where the building feels older than its walls, and the Ogden Paranormal Investigations team had barely stepped into the Salt Lake City clubhouse before realizing the place carried a kind of quiet that did not belong to an empty structure. They set a camera in one of the lower rooms, letting it run while they explored, and you can hear their footsteps echoing above like the spirits had already started listening. One of the investigators went out of frame and called out to whatever was on the top floor, asking it to come downstairs and join them, because he wanted to see if the place really lived up to its reputation.
That's you upstairs. You're more than welcome to join us here in the basement. We'd love to talk to you.
Right after I ask the spirits on the first floor to join us downstairs, an anomaly moves from the top of the screen towards the basement staircase. Watch again with the image enhanced.
That's you upstairs. You're more than welcome to join us here in the basement. We'd love to talk to you. Upstairs, you're more than welcome to join us here in the basement. We'd love to talk to you.
As he finishes asking, an orb shoots through the ceiling area on the camera feed and drops downstairs, like it heard the invitation. The second that orb comes through the roofline, nobody has to say anything because you can feel how fast the mood shifts from casual investigation to the realization that something actually responded. The investigator who called out suddenly sounds unsure about his own words, and the room feels heavier, like whatever moved through the floor did not come alone. Moments like that remind them that sometimes the spirits do not wait for permission. They take an invitation as a door opening. Upstairs, the camera had been running quietly, pointed down the dim hallway where the team hadn't walked yet, and the air up there already seemed thicker on the recording, like something was hovering just out of frame in the doorway. The investigators were still reacting to the orb dropping through the roof downstairs, completely unaware that the upstairs feed was catching something even stranger.
We had more potential evidence from night 1, but without the handheld footage, we could not verify its validity. However, that does not take away from an experience Jocelyn will not soon forget.
The empty hallway sits still for a few seconds before a soft but clear voice says hello near the camera. The moment that single word comes through, it cuts through the silence in a way that doesn't sound like an echo or a creak, or any of the usual building noises they're used to, and it feels more like a direct acknowledgement from whatever they had called down. It's the kind of greeting that doesn't feel friendly or hostile, just aware, like something wanted them to know it heard the invitation and was deciding whether to follow. And when the investigators later reviewed the footage and heard that hello, you could see the realization hit them that they weren't just exploring a haunted clubhouse, they were talking to something that was willing to answer back. A man was at home one night, casually watching TV, when he decided to start filming because something strange had started happening. The overhead light in his living room began flashing on and off at slow, rhythmic intervals, almost like a signal.
Vean cómo empezó a ser el foco de mi recámara. Prende y se apaga. No sé qué pasó. Estoy viendo la tele y de repente no sé qué pasó, se apagó la luz. Otra vez apagó la luz. Voy a buscar la linterna. Ah, se apagó la tele. Aquí está la linterna. ¿Qué está pasando? No, 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 no mames, no mames. ¿Qué es eso? Por Dios, ¿qué es eso? Se apagó. Mi celular, mi celular, mi celular. Traigo mi celular. Está prendido allá abajo. Está prendido allá abajo. ¿Qué pasó? Vamos. ¿Qué pasó? Se prendió la luz. Se está apagando la luz. Se está prendiendo la luz.
He pointed his camera toward the TV, narrating nervously as both the television and the light suddenly turned off at the exact same moment, plunging the room into silence. Grabbing a flashlight, he asked out loud what was going on, his voice shaky. Just then, the door across from him creaked open by itself, revealing the dark outline of a womanly figure standing beyond it. The figure didn't move, but its presence was enough to send a jolt of fear through him. After gathering himself, he slowly backed away, turned, and made his way downstairs with the flashlight in hand. His breathing grew louder as he picked up the pace, eventually sprinting out the door and into his car. He explained at the end that he wouldn't be going back into that house for at least a week. Footage captured a routine call that turned into something far stranger. Questioning a woman outside her 3-room home after she reported what she believed to be a burglary. She explained her reasons for suspicion, and they sounded very believable, so the officers requested permission to search the property. She agreed, staying outside while they went in.
How's it going? What seems to be the problem?
I left for a while to go shopping, and when I came home, the door is open. I think somebody broke in.
Does anyone live in the house?
Yes, my husband, myself, and our 2 kids, but they're out of town right now. They're with his parents.
And how many rooms do you have?
2 upstairs and 1 downstairs.
All right, we're gonna have to go and search the house. Is it okay if we go in?
Yeah, of course.
You don't have any like pets or dogs or anything?
No.
Right. Just stay here, man. Police, if anyone's here, make yourself known. Police. Anyone inside? I'm gonna check downstairs, you get upstairs.
Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known.
Downstairs clear. Upstairs clear?
Yeah, we're good.
Flashlights swept across the darkened rooms as they knocked on doors and announced their presence, receiving no reply. One officer entered a bedroom and inspected a cabinet, only to catch one of its doors slam shut on its own a few seconds later. He checked the adjoining bathroom and found it empty. The officers split up to cover more ground. The body cam shows the POV officer heading upstairs, where the door at the top slowly pushed itself wider, as if someone invisible was waiting for him. He cautiously entered, scanned the room, and found nobody. As he stepped back into the hallway, the door opposite creaked open even further, repeating the unsettling pattern. Once again, the room was empty. After thoroughly checking every space and finding no signs of forced entry, the officers returned outside to inform the woman. She was left shaken but relieved no intruder was found. Though the officers admitted what they witnessed inside was deeply unsettling, she decided to stay with family for the night and planned to have someone bless the house in the coming days. Noah had always joked about the piano ghost living in his house, ever since the old upright piano had arrived as a family heirloom, and it would frequently play by user, with the seat even moving. But one afternoon, he found something even more abnormal. Sitting on the piano's music stand was a handwritten note addressed to him. It claimed to be from the piano ghost itself, saying it had been practicing a special song and left clear instructions on how to let it play without interference. Intrigued and excited to see what musical ability the ghost had to offer, Noah followed the instructions.
Sorba. Hey, say hi to Jackson, Haven, and Harper. Hey kiddos, it's Uncle Noah. I wanted to let you know I got home last night and I saw a letter from the piano ghost to you guys. I've already read it, but I'm going to read it to you guys. It says, oh gosh, this handwriting is so bad. It says, Dear Haven, Harper, and Jax, I heard y'all are coming to see Noah and Lindsay for Christmas. So I've been practicing a little song to play for y'all. I'll play a little bit of it for you now. I hope you enjoy it. Here are your instructions. Place the letter on top of the piano, turn the piano on for me, and then back away and listen. I hope you enjoy this song, and I can't wait to play for you this Christmas. Love, the friendly piano ghost. All right, so let's see. We put the letter up, turn it on and back away. So let's turn it on for him. And now let's watch him play. Hope he can sit on that bench. It's kind of crooked, but oh well. Oh, whoa. He's scooting it back so he can sit on it. Okay. Well, whatever works. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. He's playing. Man, he's good. Yeah, such a cool ghost. All he does is play the piano. Sweet. That was cool. Oh, I guess he's not done. Oh yeah. Rocking and rolling now. He's the best piano player I've ever heard. Alright, I'm gonna quit videoing. And I'm gonna leave so he can play by himself. Love you, kiddos. Bye.
He placed the note on top of the piano, turned the power on, and stepped back to give it space. A few moments later, the seat in front of the piano slid out as if an invisible player had taken their place. Then the piano keys began pressing down one by one in perfect rhythm, playing a recognizable Christmas song, all on their own. The sound filled the room as Noah filmed, clearly in awe. It wasn't a recording or a trick of the light. He could see each key moving as if touched by unseen hands. According to the note, the ghost planned to perform the song for the whole family on Christmas Day, which left Noah equal parts excited and unsettled. The following footage comes from a household camera set up in the sitting room right after the family finished dinner. The room was calm and completely untouched, but little did anybody know that it wasn't going to stay that way. Near the camera, a small child's toy on the desk gives a slight twitch, so subtle you might miss it on first watch. A second later, it shifts again, more abruptly this time, scraping a few centimeters, as if nudged by an unseen hand. After a brief pause, it jolts once more, the movement sharper and impossible to blame on vibration. While the family is off-screen cleaning up, the camera catches one more startling moment across the room. From the top of a cabinet, an item tumbles down and hits the floor with a clean clack that cuts through the silence. No one is nearby, no footsteps approach, and nothing else in frame moves. The clip ends with the toy sitting crooked and the fallen object lying where it landed, a quiet room holding on to a very loud mystery. The man in our next clip was standing outside his house late at night when he began to hear faint footsteps that didn't sound like the usual neighborhood sounds. Curious and a little unsettled, he pulled out his phone and started filming to see if he could capture whatever was making the noise. Pointing the camera toward one of his windows, the audio picks up a strange rhythmic galloping sound, almost like a horse running just out of view. The noise grows clearer, echoing through the night air, and at moments, an obnoxiously loud snoring sound can be heard too, adding to the eeriness of the situation. The man stays quiet for most of the video, focusing on recording the sounds as they continue for several seconds before fading into the distance. Some who watched the footage said the noise reminded them of a horse, while others thought it sounded like distant gunfire echoing off buildings. Comment below what you think it sounds like so we can get to the bottom of it. A family was casually filming themselves hanging out in their sitting room, everyone gathered together and chatting. It seemed like a completely normal moment, but if you pay close attention to the woman standing in the background, something unsettling happens. Her hair suddenly gets tugged back by an unseen force, sharp enough for her to immediately react and grab at it in confusion. She turns to the others and explains that the family has a ghost in the house. For context, she's actually a cousin visiting and doesn't live there. Her sudden declaration leaves everyone looking around at each other, visibly confused and unsure how to respond. Some nervously laugh it off, while others look uncomfortable, trying to figure out if she's joking or serious. The clip spread quickly online, with many viewers pointing out the clear movement in her hair and how genuine her reaction seemed. Whether it was a trick of the light or something paranormal, the moment left a lasting impression. Late one night, Dyra found herself alone in the storage facility she was renting a room in, sorting through some old belongings she'd been meaning to organize. The place was quiet, the kind of silence that makes every little sound echo down the narrow hallways. She pulled out her phone and began recording as she walked through the corridor toward her unit. You'll have to look closely to see what happened in this clip.
I'm over here at the storage, and I don't know if it's me, but y'all tell me I don't see that. Oh no. I don't know if it's just a fan like going in and out, but the f is that? Duh. I don't. Maybe I'm bugging. No, I know y'all just see that, right? Oh!
Zooming down the hallway, she caught something unsettling. A figure kept peeking around the left corner at the very end, pulling back each time as if it didn't want to be fully seen. It happened more than once, quick movements that looked too human to be a trick of the light, yet too strange for someone to actually be there. The building was supposed to be empty, and it was late enough that no staff or other customers were around. Her breathing grew shaky as she slowly made her way forward, unsure if she was dealing with a trespasser or something far worse. The footage left viewers uneasy, with many pointing out how deliberate the peeking looked, as if the figure was toying with her. After a long day at work, the victim of our next clip pulled into his driveway and immediately noticed something strange. The light in his shed was on. This wasn't the first odd thing to happen recently, and he'd started to believe his property might actually be haunted. His neighbors, however, dismissed it as the work of bored teenagers playing pranks. Determined to prove it one way or another, he pulled out his phone and started recording.
I just got home from work and my shed light is on. Sorry, I'm spanning the yard just to make sure nobody else is out here. I spoke to my neighbor after that last video, and he said his junior high boys have been pulling pranks on people, so I think it's them. But they don't really have anywhere to go, so I'm gonna bust in here and try and catch them. I don't know what they're doing.
Hey! 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 Hey!
As he filmed the shed from a distance, the light began to flicker erratically, turning off and on in a pattern that didn't seem random. Just when it looked like it might stop, a figure appeared inside, faintly illuminated, and turned to face him. Without hesitation, he continuously yelled, "Hey!" and bolted toward the shed. But when he swung the door open, the interior was completely empty. There were no windows, no back doors, and no possible escape route for anyone to have slipped out. That moment shifted his doubts into certainty. This wasn't teenagers messing around. Whatever was inside the shed that night wasn't human. Elderly woman decided to film a short Q&A at home after viewers in her previous videos suggested there might be something wrong with her house. Sitting comfortably in her chair, she answered questions as someone behind the camera read them out loud. It all seemed harmless with her voice being calm, the tone light-hearted, but the atmosphere in the room said otherwise.
Like there's things that are flying off the shelves and things.
I saw it once. Yeah, I saw it once.
Alright, we're going one more. This is from a lady called Miss Butterfly Lady. The ghosts are pissed off with the clutter in your house. So she's saying your house is very messy. Can you explain why your house is messy?
I'm waiting to go out to see to the new year, and the house is messy because Nathan, who is my young son, he would
grandson.
Help clear it up.
Grandson. I'm your grandson then.
My grandson, I mean.
Yeah, so you wouldn't help clear it up. Alright then. So there was one more question. A lady said, there's a lot of booze in your house. You know the bottles you got over there? She said, can you explain why you got so many bottles?
Well, I don't drink it myself. I collect them in. When somebody gives me some more, win it in a raffle.
How old did you say they are though?
How old were they?
Yeah, how old would you say all those bottles are?
Well, I don't know. There seemed to be a lot there. But I've got rid of some of it.
Oh, they're quite old though, aren't they?
Yeah, very old.
So yeah, we got 100,000 views. We got now 368 3,600 followers, subscribers. Can you say any final words to the people, the 120,000 people that saw the video last year on this exact day, as it's today is the 31st of December 2019, and tomorrow will be New Year's Eve. Tomorrow will be New Year's Day. So it's exactly a year ago it happened today, so we're doing an anniversary. So can you go?
I think it's all a load of bullshit.
Alright then. Alright, you got anything else to say to the people before we go?
Just what I said. What I've said. I didn't mean to swear, but
You don't like the internet and Wi-Fi and YouTube?
no, I don't get on with anything like that.
In the background, a string of Christmas lights began flickering at odd intervals, not like a loose connection, but in an uneven rhythm that drew attention once viewers noticed. Near those lights sat a small Santa ornament, perfectly still for most of the video, until the final moments. Towards where the clip ends, the Santa's arm twitches slightly, and several times, just enough to be noticed if you're really watching. The woman didn't seem to realize what was happening behind her, smiling and wrapping things up as the recording cut. But commenters were quick to point it out, with many saying they'd seen the same small movements in her past videos too. Whether it was a trick of the light or something else moving on its own, it left people uneasy, especially knowing she still lives there completely alone. The clip begins with someone quietly zooming in down a dimly lit hallway outside their bedroom door. Everything looks still at first, the camera steady, the only sound being faint breathing. But hanging on the wall, halfway down the corridor, is a guitar, and it's moving.
It's fucking moving. Look, it's my hand.
At first, it swings lightly, almost like it's reacting to air movement, but the longer the camera lingers, the more it shifts. The swinging grows wider, faster, until the sways are indistinguishable. Then, without warning, the motion turns violent. The body of the guitar starts hitting the wall repeatedly, the banging echoing through the hallway. The person filming doesn't move, too stunned to speak, just letting the recording run as the instrument keeps slamming back and forth like it's being pulled by something unseen. Eventually, the noise stops as suddenly as it began, the guitar coming to rest against the wall again. There was no explanation, no reaction, just the quiet aftermath of something that clearly shouldn't have been able to move at all.